I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets, and it's Monday, which means it's time for me to open up my mailbox and answer your questions about marketing, copywriting, business building, and more. But you know what? I really wasn't inspired by any of the questions that I've gotten recently. And so I decided to go back and answer one of those questions that I get all the time, but that I have maybe some new inspiration, new value, because ultimately what it comes down to is in every episode, I'm trying to deliver maximum value to you. And since there are so many copywriters on my list who are constantly wanting more clients, wanting great copywriting clients, I figured I would just share with you maybe one of the most powerful ideas. What I have in my notes here is the single most reliable way to get good copywriting clients. You want that? You want that? I think you do. That's why you're watching, right? So let's dive in. Okay. Like I said, I think this is the single most reliable way to get good, sometimes even great copywriting clients. And I've done it over and over again in my business as a copywriter, in my career as a copywriter. And honestly, this same thing, part of the reason I think that it's so attractive to clients is that it separates great copywriters from bad ones. Bad copywriters don't do what I'm going to tell you. Great copywriters do. And when a great copywriter demonstrates that they are able to do this, well, clients say, yeah, awesome, cool. And in fact, in competitive niches, if you're a copywriter and you're not doing this, well, you're going to probably struggle because there are going to be other copywriters out there who understand this principle, understand this strategy, and who are doing it on a regular basis, and they're getting the clients and you aren't. Because honestly, this is an instant attractor for clients. And if you're sitting here watching my YouTube video versus listening to this in the audio version on your podcast app, you probably noticed that I've kind of hidden I've hidden this in my notes so you can't see it yet, but I'll reveal it to you. Here is the single most reliable way to get good copywriting clients. Bring exciting ideas. Bring exciting ideas. Now we're going to talk about this actually from a couple different perspectives, how to do this right, version 1 and version 2. Bring exciting ideas. So you can bring exciting content ideas. This is version 1. This is like if you think of yourself as a big idea copywriter, or just trying to find compelling angles, hooks, promotions, that sort of thing, right? Any kind of content that a particular marketer, especially a skilled marketer in a competitive niche, wants to put out is going to be based on some kind of idea, right? That's going to carry the promotion forward. And they're always looking for really good ideas, angles, hooks, promotions, right? And if you're able to do that, they're going to say, okay, awesome. And so, for example, one time I wanted to get this particular client in the survival niche, and I had this idea to write a second person narrative. So it was like it was putting the prospect in the middle of this that felt almost like an action movie type setup, right? It was about the power going out. And in this particular case, it was actually a power outage based on computer hackers attacking the electric grid. And so I did this second person narrative, and I did the first maybe 2.5 pages or so, and I sent it to this client, and he was super excited. And it turned into a project where he paid me an upfront fee, plus the remainder of the fee when I completed the copy, plus a royalty on sales generated, and it beat his control, right? It turned into that project for that client, plus it turned into ongoing work with that client, where we created an even bigger promotion with even more financial success around it. But for this client, it was a new approach, but it was on topic because they had talked about this kind of scenario elsewhere. And so what I did was I just brought pre-written copy to him. And as a copywriter, most often, that's going to be the most effective way to do this. It doesn't even have to be copy that ends up getting used, but putting together an idea and being able to communicate that idea clearly. Even better if you're able to communicate that idea in writing, right? Even better if you're able to communicate that idea in writing that looks like about like the client would see it in terms of what they would actually send out to the marketplace. All of that's going to make the client attracted to doing business with you. And this works for great clients in competitive niches because they are actively looking for copywriters who can do this, who can bring ideas to the table and turn them into at least good first draft copy, right? And they may say, and I've done this a bunch of other times, they may say, you know what, this isn't quite an angle that we want to go with, but I see your ability. And so let's go in another direction, but let's do a project together. And I've had that happen lots of times. I think my very first financial copywriting client, it happened, I did kind of a spec work, which is what they're trying to get you to do, trying to get you to demonstrate when you do spec work, is that you can bring ideas. I did spec and they said, yeah, this isn't quite it, but let's do some work together. And that led to easily a six-figure client relationship. And this happens over and over again. If you're able to bring strong content ideas, bring exciting content ideas to your prospects in these niches, to potential clients, they're going to be excited. Now, one thing I'll say about this is it does need to fit into what they're already doing. So, you know, to create some kind of dramatic, some dramatic bad example for you, I could, for example, take maybe a 3D direct mail campaign. It could be an exciting idea and the content could be powerful and it could be like, you know, a compelling potential marketing campaign for this particular client. But if all they do is run VSLs to paid traffic online, they're probably not going to be super excited or really able to use a 3D direct mail campaign, right? Or like a USA Today ad or something like that. And primarily what they do is they sell through funnels and VSLs and all of that, right? So when you do this, what you need to do is you study the client, you study what topics that they're writing about, right? What topics they're featuring. And you find a new angle, a new hook, a new promotion idea, a new big idea for them. And you bring it to them and you represent it in at least some pretty polished first draft copy. And you say, hey, I would love to do something like this with you. It doesn't have to be this exactly. But if this looks good to you, let's do some work together. Now, here's how to do this right. Version 2. Bring interesting strategy ideas. Bring compelling strategy ideas. So things like campaign design, funnel design. With one of my clients that I was kind of on the verge of doing some more work with them, and I just wanted to kind of cement the relationship, I brought to them a massive like video premiere event campaign structure. And this was something that they weren't doing. They were primarily doing, sales letters, that kind of thing. And I said, let's do this big video premiere event. And it's going to have all these moving pieces. And here's what the campaign looks like and all of that. And it was basically a really fancy webinar campaign. But there were like 28 moving pieces or maybe more than that. And we ended up attracting a ton of affiliates for it. We generated 20,000 hot list leads, including 10,000 people who were new to file. We generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue when it needed to pass about 125,000 for them to consider it a success. And they actually turned it into a model that they used over and over and over and over again to generate millions in revenue. And I brought the strategy, I brought the whole campaign map to them. It's the same one that I teach in webinars that sell inside BTMSinsiders. You can bring funnel design if they're not doing more sophisticated marketing funnels. You can bring paid traffic campaign design. Like you can do this in lots of different ways. It's about bringing effective strategy ideas. Now this works especially for less sophisticated marketers, which if you think about it, like, probably 80-90% or more of marketers fall under this less sophisticated category. And so it can work for those, even something as simple as email hot list campaigns, that sort of thing, or running a special email sale. These things, if you do it and it feels exciting to the marketer, they are likely to hire you right away to do it, especially because you are the person who understands it better than anybody else. And you're bringing to them a marketing advantage that they're able to take advantage of through working with you. The one thing that I'll say about this is it should be a manageable innovation from their current method. So like that big video launch campaign was probably too big for a lot of marketers, but it was a good fit for who I was working with. In other cases, like it's, again, taking somebody offline when they're used to online and all that stuff might be more difficult. But somebody that's already doing email marketing, if you have a hot list campaign for them, for example, and you build them something that's basically plug and play, or you can bring it to them in a way that's very, very easy to implement based on what they're doing right now, well, it's going to be something that is naturally attractive to them. But again, all of it's about bringing this like exciting strategy idea or an exciting content idea for them. Now, my call to action for you at the end of this episode, number one, ask yourself how you can use this. Who do you need to take an exciting idea to, right? Ask yourself that. Also, like and subscribe so you get more content like this delivered to you. If you do have a really good question about copywriting, marketing, business building, and more, that link is in the description to ask Roy your question. Also, relevant training to what we've talked about, all included with the BTMS Insiders streaming library of copywriting and marketing courses. The training titles are High Velocity Copywriting and Webinars That Sell. Both of those, excellent in this regard. I would encourage you to check them out. All those links are in the description. Again, I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets, and I'll catch you again in the next episode. See you soon. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.